Rain slapped against the cracked windows of the Crestfall Hotel, a building that seemed to sag beneath the weight of its own history. The neon sign outside flickered between Crestfall and Rest All, humming like something alive. Elena Brooks tightened her coat as she stepped inside. The air smelled of damp carpet and lemon cleaner, an odd attempt to disguise decay. The lobby was empty except for a man behind the front desk, gray-haired, thin, with eyes too tired to blink. "Need a room for the night," Elena said, brushing rain from her hair. The clerk's gaze flicked up briefly. "We've only got one open," he muttered, tapping the register. "Room 312. He said it too quickly, like a reflex. Then his expression tightened, as if he just remembered something he shouldn't have said. "Is that a problem?" Elena asked. He hesitated. "No, it's just an old room. Been closed for a while." "I don't mind old," she said, smiling faintly. He slid the key across the counter, an actual brass key, not a card. The tag was scratched, the number barely legible. As she turned to go, he added quietly, "If the lights flicker, don't open your eyes." Elena blinked, confused. "Excuse me?" "You heard me." But when she looked back, he was staring down at the logbook, pretending he hadn't. The elevator groaned as it carried her upward. The carpeted hallway of the third floor stretched endlessly, lined with faded wallpaper patterned with vines. Most of the lights overhead were dead. Room 312 waited at the far end, its door darker than the rest. The brass number hung crooked. The key jammed twice before turning. The room smelled of stale air and furniture polish. The bedspread was clean but dated, floral prints and colors that no longer existed in fashion. Elena tossed her suitcase on the chair and exhaled. It wasn't much, but it was shelter. A framed picture hung over the headboard, a painting of a woman sitting beside a mirror. Her face was blurry, as though someone had tried to paint her reflection instead of her. Elena turned on the bedside lamp. The bulb flickered, buzzing faintly, before settling into a weak glow. "Cozy," she whispered to herself. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky. She made tea with the hotel kettle and sat by the window, watching the storm tear through the streets. At 2:47 a.m., she drifted off to sleep. The clock beside the bed blinked 3:12 a.m. in dull red digits when she woke to the sound of whispering. Soft. Faint. Right beside her ear. "Why did you come back?" Elena sat up sharply. The lamp flickered. The painting over the bed was slightly tilted. She scanned the room, empty. Her pulse raced. "Hello?" No answer. She got up, flicked on the bathroom light. The mirror was fogged, as though someone had just taken a hot shower, but the sink was bone dry. She wiped the glass, and froze. Words had been traced into the steam. "Leave before it sees you." Elena stumbled backward, knocking over her cup. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. Then, from somewhere near the bed, she heard breathing. Slow. Wet. Guttural. She fumbled for her phone flashlight, its beam shaking as it swept across the room. The painting was different. The woman in the frame was looking directly at her now. By morning, the hotel looked normal again. The hallway lights were steady. The air smelled faintly of breakfast from the lobby. Elena decided she was imagining things, fatigue and storm anxiety. Still, she set up her phone to record while she went to take a shower. A few minutes later, she returned, towel wrapped around her head. Her phone screen was black, but playing. Footsteps echoed on the video. The bed creaked. Then, a figure leaned into frame, a woman, long hair dripping wet, her skin gray-blue like drowned flesh. She turned toward the camera and whispered something, unintelligible. Then, suddenly, the frame went white, and the recording cut. Elena's hand trembled as she replayed it. Each time, the same result, the woman appeared closer. And then, on the last replay, the whisper became clear. "Don't check out." Panicking, Elena stormed downstairs. The front desk clerk was gone. In his place stood a younger man with a hotel badge reading manager, Chris Vallon. "Sir, something's wrong with my room," she said. "I need to move." He looked up from his computer, startled. "You're in which room?" 312. Chris's expression went pale. "Ma'am, that room isn't supposed to be rented." "Who gave you the key?" "The night clerk." "Old guy, gray hair." "We don't have any night clerk fitting that description," he interrupted. "We've been short-staffed for weeks." Elena stared at him. "What are you talking about?" Chris hesitated, lowering his voice. Room 312 was sealed after a guest. Her name was Lena Morse, drowned in the bathtub in 1993. Nobody could explain it. The room kept flooding from the inside. Lights flickered. Guests complained of hearing her voice. He rubbed his temple. "We stopped renting it years ago. I keep the key locked in the back." Elena pulled it from her pocket. The tag was damp, the metal corroded. Chris stepped back. "Where did you get that?" "You gave it to me," she snapped. "No, ma'am. That's impossible." Behind them, a faint drip, drip, drip echoed across the lobby floor. A puddle was forming beneath the counter. Elena whispered, "Do you hear that?" The manager's face drained of color. "It's coming from the stairs." They climbed to the third floor. Water streaked down the walls, seeping from under the door of room 312. "Jesus Christ," Chris muttered. "There's no plumbing active in that room." Elena clutched her phone, filming everything. The door creaked open by itself. Inside, the floor was soaked. The bed sheets were twisted into shapes like something had been crawling underneath. The painting had fallen, the glass shattered. And on the mirror, the steam-written warning had changed. "Too late. It saw you." Chris turned to run, but the door slammed shut. The lock clicked from the inside. The air grew thick. The temperature dropped. Elena's breath came out in visible puffs. From the bathroom, water began spilling across the tiles. A hand rose from the tub, pale and trembling. Then another. The drowned woman pulled herself out, her face bloated, eyes white and unseeing. Hair clung to her cheeks like seaweed. She crawled forward, water following her like a tide. Chris screamed, backing into the corner. "Lena Morse," Elena whispered, realizing. "You're her." The ghost's head jerked toward her. A gurgling voice hissed. "You took my name." Elena stumbled backward, confused. "No, I didn't." But then she remembered what the clerk had called her the night before, Lena. The spirit's mouth opened impossibly wide, black water pouring out. The lights flickered, once. Twice. And Elena remembered the warning, "If the lights flicker, don't open your eyes." She squeezed them shut. Chris didn't. His scream was short and wet. When the light steadied, he was gone. Only his phone remained, half submerged in the flooded carpet. By sunrise, the water was gone. Room 312 looked clean, untouched. The housekeeper knocked gently before entering. Inside, she found a woman sitting on the bed, dry, calm, her hair neatly brushed. "Ma'am? Are you checking out today?" The woman smiled faintly. "Not yet." She placed a brass key on the nightstand. The tag shone clean and new, 312. As the housekeeper left, the woman turned toward the painting. The figure in the frame was smiling now, and it looked exactly like her. That evening, a new traveler arrived at the Crestfall Hotel, asking for a single room. The clerk, an older woman this time, hesitated before saying, "We only have one open. Room 312. The guest nodded, unaware. And from somewhere up above, faintly through the ceiling, came the soft sound of dripping water, steady, rhythmic, like a heartbeat.